FORA.tv. The world is thinking.
A wrongful death lawsuit was recently filed by the family of Lawrence King, the gender transgressive and gay 15-year-old who was shot to death by a classmate in his Oxnard, California middle school in 2008. The named defendants in the case include the shooter, Brandon McInerney, and also the middle school in the school district where the murder took place, the shelter where King was living at the time of his death, and a gay rights organization. The suit alleges that each of these parties failed in their duty to protect Lawrence King and asserts that it was this failure to protect him as much as the shooter's bullet that led to his death. The civil suit is only a minor event in the context of the larger criminal trial currently ongoing in Ventura County of Brandon McInerney. Yet it provides a particularly stark example of the importance of the family in the regulation of gender and sexuality for queer and trans youth. As many LGBT scholars and advocates have noted, violence against queer and trans youth is routinely ignored or dismissed, if not sanctioned and perpetrated in the institutions where it takes place. Consequently, the recognition that LGBT youth are at heightened risk for being targeted by violence, and the assertion that a school or a shelter has a special responsibility to protect LGBT youth from that homophobic violence would seem to be welcome news. The surprising turn in this civil case lies in its understanding of what protection against homophobic and transphobic violence would look like, what constitutes dangerous behavior, and what the proper role of the family might or might not be in the lives of queer and trans youth. The civil suit is very much a family affair. It names Lawrence's little brother Rocky as a plaintiff, along with his mother and father, reinforcing the image of a nuclear unit consolidating itself in defense of one of its own. The suit frames issues of duty, danger, and responsibility, broadly and starkly, and that framing goes a far way to suggesting why there was no one to help Lawrence inside the institutions of either the school or the family. The shooter, Brandon McInerney, along with a number of other youth at the school, taunted and threatened King on numerous occasions prior to the fatal shooting, and the school did indeed fail to intervene in that harassment. But the King family suit does not address these behaviors, or rather, it does not characterize either the harassment or the threats that Lawrence King received as dangerous. The suit alleges instead that the school, the shelter, and the gay support group were negligent in that they failed to intervene in their son's behavior. That is, the school is charged with a failure to stop a dangerous behavior, but the behavior is Lawrence King's rather than Brandon McInerney's. In what kind of dangerous behavior was Lawrence King engaging? According to the suit, the school, the shelter, and the gay rights group failed in their duty to protect Lawrence King by failing to intervene alternately in his gender presentation or his sexuality. It asserts that, quote, the school and the shelter knew that King's behavior was sexually assertive and threatening, but failed to take action, unquote. So it was King's sexuality itself, rather than the threats and the harassment that targeted his sexuality, that was dangerous. A sexuality that was intimated or demonstrated by King's performance of his gender. The suit contends that, quote, everyone from King's teacher to his social worker failed to urge the effeminate teen to tone down flamboyant behavior, where the tension between the assertion of Lawrence's femininity and his aggressivity is hard to read, unless we understand that his femininity is understood as itself constituting aggressivity. Protecting King was thus seen as the responsibility of the school and the shelter, and failing that responsibility came in the form of encouragement, both tacit and explicit, to be gender transgressive and gay.